Hi, Barbie. Hi, Ken. And welcome to another episode of Big Blonde and Beautiful, the podcast. If you're new here, my name is Kara Howie, and each week I pick a piece of media and talk about the fat representation in it and tell you whether or not I think it's positive or negative. If you couldn't tell by the lighting, by the intro, by the outfit, today we're going to be talking about the new Barbie movie. I am so excited to talk about this movie. I saw it a couple weeks ago. It is so good. And also, I feel like this should be kind of obvious, but there will be spoilers. And since it's so new, if you haven't seen the movie and you don't want it to be spoiled, then don't listen to this until you watch it. I cannot recommend watching this movie enough, especially for women. It's just so good. The movie's funny, it's self-aware, it's empowering, and the cinematography is chef's kiss. Amazing. I don't go to the movies super often because, as someone just out of college, I don't have a lot of money. So, I definitely have to pick and choose. I did make it a point to go see this movie, specifically because it's directed by a female, which we have to support female directors. There are not enough of them. And so anytime I get the chance to go and see a movie directed by a woman, if I can afford it, I will absolutely go. And I recommend that if you are interested in supporting female directors, that you go as well. Let's get into the movie. So, as I'm sure everyone knows, the lead Barbie, which is stereotypical Barbie, is played by Margot Robbie. And love Margot Robbie, love her work. She's an amazing actress. But she is very much stereotypical Barbie. She's thin, blonde, tall, like very much the standard beauty in Western society. So I think that was great casting, but that's not who we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the fat Barbies in this movie. I actually was very surprised that there was fat representation in this movie because I was not expecting it at all. I had seen that Nicola Coughlan, who plays Claire in Derry Girls and also plays Penelope Featherington in Bridgerton, was in this movie, and so I was excited for that. Unfortunately, she literally was in the movie for about 2 seconds, which sucks because I am a big fan of hers, but the real star was Sharon Rooney. Now, some of you might know Sharon Rooney from My Mad Fat Diary, which I personally have not seen. I know I've been told a million times I need to watch it. I promise you I will watch it. I was so happy to see her in this movie. Like I said, wasn't expecting any representation, let alone the representation that we got, because she was actually one of stereotypical Barbie's main, I guess you say, friends, like one of the main Barbies other than Margot Robbie. And then none of the dialogue or the storyline was focused on her looks or her weight. And that made me so happy because we do not have enough of that. Sometimes a character can just be fat, and that's just something you see, and it doesn't have to be a focal point of that character. And I really appreciated that she was Barbie and no one questioned it. And not only that, but the costuming for the whole movie, but also specifically for her, absolutely gorgeous. She looked so good. And yes, there are struggles that come with being fat, but sometimes, you just want to watch a movie where the fat person is just a person. And you don't have to hear about the struggles you deal with all the time. So it is important talk about them in an accurate way. But for this movie, I don't think that that was important. And I'm really glad that they didn't do that. She is just like every other Barbie. She has amazing clothes, perfect hair, she's smart, independent, and lives this perfect life in Barbie land. So Sharon herself even said in an interview that she did with Glamour that this was her most empowering role yet. And that she feels that if she can be Barbie, then she can be anything. And I really hope that's what bigger girls and women take away from seeing her in this role. That we can be anything we want to be. But now I think it's time for a fat Barbie. Mattel, I'm talking to you and your male CEO, which, if you've seen the movie, you know that that's like a thing. Like all the people like who run Mattel are men. It's true in real life. That's unfortunate. I also want to talk a little bit about the other representation in this film, just briefly. Obviously, we can always have more representation, but there is a disabled Barbie. There are black Barbies. There are Barbies actually of all different ethnicities and races. There's even a trans Barbie, and I also love that her character, that's not brought up. She's just a Barbie, which is just like Sharon's character in this movie. I think they did that so well. Actresses from all walks of life were in this film. No matter their size, color, ability, they were just perfect Barbies, which I think shows us as the audience that we are perfect just the way we are. Let's get into some women empowerment. This movie is full of it. It is literally a celebration of everything that we as little girls grow up hearing is wrong and that we should be ashamed of. It's pink. It's feminine. It's pro-woman. And do not get it twisted. That does not mean that it is anti-man. I feel like I've been hearing mostly white men say that this movie is anti-man, like it hates men. And I didn't get that at all. I think it just focuses on women, and men are not used to that because most movies are based around them. They are the leads, and like I'd say at least 95%, maybe more. Maybe more. But it wasn't made for you. Everything is made for you, and this was not made for you. It reminds me of that TikTok sound that's like, everything is for you, and this one thing is for me, you know? So that's how I feel hearing their criticism of it. I'm like, just let us have this. We don't get very much. Just let us have it. Okay, thanks. And I don't know, something about watching this, I feel like kind of healed a little piece of my inner child because I definitely went through a phase for quite a long time of rejecting things that were feminine. I think we are taught that if it's feminine, it's weak, it's emotional, it doesn't fit in. And in some sense, that is true because society has decided that and made it that way. But I feel like if we as women collectively decide that that's bullshit and we are not going to accept it anymore, we're not going to live that way, then we can change it and it doesn't have to be that way. We can wear pink. We can be emotional. People should be emotional. Emotions are just part of being human. I also wanted to talk about America Ferrera's little monologue in this movie. If you haven't heard it, you can pause right now and go read it. It's like everywhere. You can just look up America Ferrera Barbie speech. Um, it is just so brilliantly said, and she acts it out amazingly. I think probably because she doesn't have to pretend to like feel this emotion from it, because it's very accurate of the double standard for women. Like, you can't be a prude, but you can't be a slut. You can't want to be a stay-at-home mom, because then you're just like the stereotypical 1950s, but you can't want a career because you need to focus on your family. Like, where are your kids? Why aren't you taking care of them? Because God forbid their other parent to be taking care of them. There's just so many double standards for women. Like, we cannot win. And that's something that I've been figuring out on my own, just as a fat person, is I can't win. So I might as well do what makes me happy, as long as it's not hurting myself or anyone else. Like, people are going to have something to say, whether I'm wearing a crop top or I'm wearing baggy sweatpants and a sweatshirt. And which would I prefer? Well, some days I prefer the baggy sweatshirt and stuff, but I've learned I like wearing crop tops. Not all the time, but I like how I look in them. And same thing with the gym. People have something to say. If you're going to the gym, they say, "Who are you kidding?" And if you don't go to the gym, you're lazy. If you can't lose weight, you're lazy. Even if you say, "Oh, I have, like I have PCOS," or any type of hormone imbalance or anything that can prevent you from losing weight, that's just an excuse. You just need to work harder. But then if you are working hard and you're not losing it, you're not really trying. It made me realize how many parts of our society have double standards. Basically, and people are going to get mad at this, and this is not anti-man, this is literally just from my observations. Unless you are a straight white cis male, you cannot do anything right. Right. You can't do anything right. So, like I said, you might as well do what makes you happy and just live your life. On my personal Instagram and TikTok, I've been doing this 30-part challenge, and it's a list I found online after reading Things No One Will Tell Fat Girls by Jess M. Baker, which I highly recommend listening to. I learned so much from it. It's so good. So it's a list that she found on the internet of things that people say fat people should not do. And I added my own things to it from what I've heard from my experiences as living as a fat person. And like, it has ridiculous things on it, like fat people shouldn't drive, they shouldn't shimmy, they shouldn't walk through a doorway, they shouldn't go to the movies. Hey, guess what? I have a whole podcast about movies. So you know what? Bite me. Okay? Like, like I said, I can do what I want. No one should be telling anyone what they can and cannot do. Okay? Just because of their size or their appearance or anything like that. Now, when I show people this list, they're like, "That's crazy. There's no way people actually think that way." Guess what? They do. So I've mentioned this before, but I've actually gotten the most hate on YouTube Shorts, which, no offense, but if you're watching YouTube Shorts, just download TikTok. Like, what? Anyway, and I posted, so one of the things on the list, like I said, was go to the movies. When I went to the Barbie movie, I posted about it. And someone commented on the post that I would take up the whole theater. Obviously, that is not true. And like I said, even simple things like that, people are going to have something to say about it. And so at this point, I just don't care. Let's get back to the movie. So, like I said, Sharon Rooney, love her character. There are so many funny moments in this movie. I just want to talk about a few of my favorite moments. I don't think I have any least favorite because at one point they were talking like Margot Robbie's character's crying and she's like saying how she's not good enough and she's like doesn't fit into this standard or whatever. And I was literally sitting there thinking, y'all do realize you're having Margot Robbie say this, right? And then a voiceover came like over the audio and was like, we understand how ironic it is that someone that looks like Margot Robbie is saying this. And I was like, thank you for being self-aware. Yes. Yeah. Some of my favorite parts, love Weird Barbie, love Kate McKinnon. I didn't have a Weird Barbie because I actually didn't play with them too much. I don't know why I wasn't really a doll person. Like I would, every once in a while I'd go through a heavy doll phase, but it was like very short-lived. But anyway, her character's so funny. Alan. Alan is an ally. He's so good. Honestly, I want them to I know they shouldn't make a sequel, but I want them to kind of make a sequel about Ken and Alan and they just go on adventures and they fall in love. Like Alan, you can tell. Alan he's gay and he's already in love with Ken. I just want there to be a movie where Ken just slowly realizes that Alan's what he's been looking for. Like Alan's always there. He always wants to listen to Ken. I just want that so bad. So bad. Because Alan is an icon. So good. Such good casting in this whole movie. What else did I love? Um the what is it called? Mojo Dojo Costa House. Unnecessary but amazing. When Margot Robbie is like trying to trick Ken and she's like, can I be like your long distance fully like committed girlfriend or whatever? And he's like, let me think about it. And he walks in just around the corner and he goes, Sublime. I love that part so much. I crack up every time. Oh, and also, haven't you talked about the music? The music's so good. I know all this stuff with Lizzo going on, and I talked about that in my previous episode, so I'm not going to talk about it in this one. But you have to admit, the Pink song, both the regular one and the Bad Day one, amazing. Dua Lipa's song, I've been listening to that on repeat. On repeat. And also, I'm Just Ken. So good. I know the point is not Ken, but also, it's a bop, and I'm here for it. So, obviously, if you couldn't tell, I love this movie. It's going to be definitely a comfort movie of mine that I watch over and over again when it comes out on streaming or whatever it comes out on. I hope I can buy the DVD because, yes, I still buy DVDs and I like having them. So, we'll see. But I love this movie so much. And for fat representation, I definitely will say it is positive because she's fat, she's a Barbie, she can be anything she wants to be, just like Barbie. And I think it even healed a little bit of Sharon Rooney when she got to play this role because I feel like even like 5 years ago, people who look like us would not have been considered for a role in a Barbie movie. So thank you, Greta Gerwig. Love. She's one of my favorite directors. Presentation, positive. Obviously, this Barbie is thick. She's not a stick. Absolutely not. This movie made me feel seen and appreciated as both fat and as a woman. And I love that. I hope that it did the same for you and that you found some comfort in this movie and just enjoyed it. So that's really all for this episode. Thank you guys so much for listening. Please leave your thoughts in the comments. Rate us 5 stars. Follow us or subscribe to us on whatever streaming service you're listening on, whether that's Spotify, Apple, YouTube. Heck, go to all 3. Go to all 3. Just click boop. It's just a button. It's just a button. Also, before I plug social media, if you are in or near the Vermilion County area on Friday, August 31st, partnering with DLO Musical Theater's Coffee House series, and we're doing big Broadway bodies, which the whole premise is to find people who are in bigger bodies, and specifically size 16 and up, and allow them to sing a song or two from roles that they would not traditionally be cast in because of their size. So I'm really excited. I'm so happy that I get to organize this. I'm just so excited to see all the talent and be able to perform with all of them. It's gonna be so much fun. So it's at South Mad Goat on Gilbert. It's more near Tilton, south side of Danville. So if you are near there, please come and support us. Please just come and listen to some amazing performers. It would mean a lot. You can follow the podcast on Instagram at bbb.podcast and on TikTok at bbb.thepodcast. I post regular content on the Instagram, but I also wanted to point out that I do post Fashion Fridays where I tag and link a size inclusive clothing brand. And those are also my highlights, so you can totally check those out. I also started posting about people that I think are fat icons, so you can also check that out in a highlight. You can also follow me, please, on Instagram and TikTok at Carolina Howie. And I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Until next time, stay fat and fabulous. Bye.